As the biggest wrestling promotion in the game, and despite the recent surge in competition, there's still a lingering perception that WWE is the place everyone wants to be and that leaving it is a major career blow. And to be fair, for the likes of Damien Sandow, Ryback and Alex Riley, this was certainly true. Regardless, it's becoming increasingly common for wrestlers to absolutely flourish away from Vince McMahon's iron grip, and today we're going to take a look at some of the most prominent examples. These guys had varying fortunes in WWE, but whatever the case, they all did better after leaving. I'm Andy for WhatCulture Wrestling, and here are 10 wrestlers who benefited from their WWE release. Number 10. Camacho. His father Haku is a near mythical wrestling figure, but Camacho's WWE run was relatively forgettable, having competed primarily on Superstar's Main Event and NXT. He found his way to TNA in 2015 after his release, but again struggled to leave an impression, departing that company after a directionless year of mediocrity. His mainstream career seemingly over, Camacho's New Japan debut and induction into the Bullet Club caught everyone by surprise. Wrestling alongside his brother Tama Tonga, the worst wrestler in the world, who Simon Miller is definitely going to batter, he is now a 5-time IWGP Tag Team Champion as Tangaloa, and the Gorillas of Destiny are a staple of the division. They're doing great stuff, and really, that's a lot more than he was ever going to do as Bloody Hunico's partner in WWE. Number 9. Trent Barreta. As one half of the Dude Busters with Kale and Croft, Trent Barreta's WWE opportunities were, well, almost non-existent. Minimal TV appearances meant he was never given a chance to make a name for himself, though he has certainly created his own lane in the Indies, in Japan, and now in AEW since leaving WWE. A former fixture of New Japan's junior heavyweight tag division, he's a charismatic, exciting wrestler, a hoot on Twitter, and one half of the endlessly entertaining Best Friends tag team with Chuck Taylor, with the duo already positioned as something of a force in AEW's tag scene. Unfortunately, WWE just didn't seem to realise what they had with Trent, as he continues to show. Number 8. Vance Archer. The wrestler you now know as Lance Archer accomplished the square root of bugger all in WWE, where he had a blink and you'll miss it run on the WWE CW and SmackDown brands between 2009 and 2010 before being released that November. Debuting for NJPW in 2011, Archer joined Suzuki-gun and formed Killer Elite Squad with Davey Boy Smith Jr. That tag team has since dissolved after 3 IWGP Tag Championship reigns, but Lance, in his time away from WWE, has evolved into one of the most impressive big men in wrestling today. He's able to do all the usual power stuff, but he also carries himself with real menace. And let's be honest guys, how many other 6'8" giants do you know that can execute a moonsault from a bloody rope walk? The guy is straight out of an action movie, and none of this would have been possible in WWE, where he was just cast as this boring, regular plodder. Number 7. Derrick Bateman. Never anything more than a comic diversion on NXT Season 4, Derrick Bateman was released from WWE in 2013. He'd go on to re-emerge as a charismatic, engaging heel during one of TNA's darkest periods. Reborn as Dixie Carter's spoiled nephew, EC3, he became a flashy, entitled piece of crap rich guy, becoming the attention-grabbing star that WWE would never let him be, and his post-comeback run with Vince McMahon's promotion only strengthens this argument. TNA built EC3 up to the point where he could easily have become a viable star when he came back to WWE the other year. He had taken his game and his prominence to the next level, but sadly today, in 2019, WWE are just letting him go to waste once more. Number 6. Neville. When WWE refused to elevate me with hair above the lowly cruiserweight division he was carrying on his back in 2017, the division's self-anointed king said screw this, walked out on the promotion, and stuck to his guns. This effectively ended up costing him almost a year of his career, as WWE shoved him on the sidelines and left him to rot. Eventually, finally, he was let go in August 2018, and he re-emerged under his old Pac moniker in Dragon Gate, his former home promotion, that October. Pac was home, he was happy, and he was the Open the Dreamgate champion for over 200 days. On top of this, he quickly became one of the most in-demand wrestlers on the indies, and he's now back in AEW after pulling out of Double or Nothing, with his bastard character one of the sport's most convincing heel personas. To contrast, in WWE, he was just a short, muscular guy with wacky ears that Vince McMahon wanted to saddle with a Mighty Mouse gimmick. Number 5. Drew McIntyre. Once handpicked as Vince McMahon's chosen one, Delectable Drew left the company after becoming a comedy joke as part of Free MP, and immediately set about reinventing himself on the indies, starting with a cathartic return to ICW. A transformational run began there in Glasgow, Scotland. McIntyre rebuilt everything about his act, from buffing up his look to refining his hard-hitting style, and he quickly became one of the most in-demand wrestlers on the planet. Playing standout roles in Evolve, WCPW, Impact, and more, he had finally become the performer WWE desperately wanted him to be. And guess what? They were paying attention. Drew's graft paid off. He returned to WWE via front row seat at TakeOver Orlando in April 2017. 4 months later, he was NXT champion, and now he's still going strong on the main roster. And it's hard to imagine this comeback run ever happening if his release hadn't lit that fire under his arse. Number 4. Batista. Despite his returns in 2014 and 2019, Dave Bautista no longer needs pro wrestling to live well. I mean, yes, the sport made him a millionaire, but since retiring, he has found a new career as an actor, playing Drax the Destroyer in several MCU blockbusters, as well as featuring in other films like 2015's Spectre. Now, he may never crack Hollywood to the same level as The Rock, who is pretty much the most successful person in the history of anything ever at this stage, but he has reached a degree of fame that transcends professional wrestling. Now, Batista has properly retired after feuding with Triple H for WrestleMania 35, and we can expect big things to keep coming his way. Number 3. Kurt Angle. Of course, Kurt Angle is a WWE legend, but if you consider his resume and accomplishments, he's almost as much a TNA guy as he is a WWE guy, even in retirement. Dirty Curty left WWE in 2006. It was supposedly a mutual decision, so it came as something of a surprise when he signed with TNA little over a month later. And as by far the highest profile wrestler to ever jump ship between those companies, he embarked upon a highly fruitful chapter in his legendary career, becoming a TNA Hall of Famer and the most decorated wrestler in company history. For all the great things Angle did in WWE, he was TNA's ace for a long time. That wasn't going to happen on Vince McMahon's watch, particularly after all the injuries, though he was eventually welcomed back for his Hall of Fame induction the other year. Number 2. Dean Ambrose. The Lunatic Fringe's last few years in WWE certainly had their highlights, but for the most part, they kinda stunk, with Ambrose carrying potted plants around, losing via exploding TVs, and relegated to the role of prop comic cum rodeo clown. This would lead to him eventually requesting and getting his release in 2019, and WWE would immediately feel very stupid for all the misuse as the former Ambrose returned to his Jon Moxley persona with aplomb. It was very clear from his first New Japan match, a banger versus Juice Robinson, that the rodeo clown was dead. Reborn, rejuvenated, and revitalized, this fresh, exciting, and dangerous Moxley quickly became the hottest wrestler on the planet, blasting Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega in an awesome debut at AEW Double or Nothing before embarking on an incredible G1 Climax run as the reigning IWGP US champion. Now, it's only been a couple of months really, but look at Jon Moxley today and compare him to Dean Ambrose, then try to tell me that this guy didn't benefit from leaving WWE. And number 1, Cody Rhodes. Given what's currently going on in the wider wrestling world, there can be no greater choice for number 1 than the star who left them in the dust, who has not only improved massively as a three-dimensional performer since leaving WWE, but has helped spark the revolution that is AEW. Deciding he valued himself more than the dopey Stardust gimmick, Cody walked out on WWE in 2016, and he has since revealed himself to be one of the smartest guys in wrestling. A 5-star worker, if not a 5-star wrestler, his mind for the business is almost as strong as his legendary father's, and in joining the Elite via New Japan and eventually playing a pivotal role in AEW's formation, the guy is absolutely thriving right now. Now only time will tell if AEW will be a success, but for now, Cody is a genuine game changer, and that simply wouldn't have been possible had he stuck around in WWE. So, fair play to him. He's literally changing the world. So that's our list, but how do you think these guys flourished after leaving WWE? And can you think of any others? Let us know down in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And then, once you've done all that, you can follow us at WhatCulture WWE on Twitter, and myself at Andy H. Murray if you're into that kind of thing. Bye!